There are 11 crypto trading mistakes costing people thousands of dollars every single day, and this is the first one. There's an anecdote that goes, when the Pope saw the statue of David, he asked Michelangelo, "How did you create this masterpiece of all masterpieces? Tell me your secret." And Michelangelo answered, "It's simple. I removed everything that's not David." That's pretty awesome for a few reasons, but mainly because it's a perfect example of via negativa, the practice of understanding something by uncovering what it's not. For example, if you want to get rich, you should avoid big losses. Like, you can't get rich if you're losing money all the time. But in trading, via negativa teaches us one huge lesson. Good trading may be many things, but it definitely is not emotional. This is mistake number one, entering trades for emotional reasons. Trading is about removing everything that doesn't help you. This way you can focus on testable rules that safely make you money. The more you can test the rules, the more you can predict your risk, and the more you can avoid losses. It's really that simple. But when you get emotional, all of that just starts flying out the window and you will start losing money rapidly. In the stock market, you sometimes hear people complaining about a bear market. In crypto, you hear it all the time. There's a belief that you can't make money in a crypto bear market, that you have to wait for the bull run pumps to make your money in crypto. But what people don't understand is that bull runs, while fun, they also do two things. They increase trading volume and they increase the amount of leverage that's used in the whole market, which increases fees for everyone. It actually gets more expensive to trade in a bull run. The bear market, by contrast, has much lower trading volume and thus lower fees. This is mistake number two, thinking you can't make money in a bear market. This is so incorrect. Bear markets are wonderful for making money. It might actually be easier to make money in a bear market if you're a trader because of the lower fees. For example, Kyle, our head of research over at Finova, I know I talk about him all the time, but he makes roughly the same income from day trades in a bear market as he does in a bull market. During a bear market, Kyle just adjusts his strategy and takes advantage of that situation. It's that simple. Adjust your strategy to the current market situation. This has meant he's been able to build his portfolio consistently to nearly $3 million. And Kyle shares his trades and rules in real time, showing our members on Finova how to avoid risk and how to snatch profits alongside him. He's accumulated a win rate of over 80% across hundreds of trades and gotten our members profits like this, and this all the time. If you're interested and want to get involved, hit the link below before spots sell out. Now, I'm going to preface this next mistake with a story. On April 8th last year, these two met in the octagon for a rematch, Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira. These two guys had a long rivalry of fighting and kickboxing, and that had spilled over into the MMA. But their last fight ended like this. Adesanya was 0-4 against Pereira and desperately needed to win the rematch, but Alex Pereira is a stone-cold killer. He sends people into the afterlife when he touches them.
Good, because he's...
So as the rematch began, Pereira used his strength to do exactly that, hurting Adesanya, pressuring him and cornering him. As he closed in, the crowd screamed, but then what they saw shocked them.
Bang! Bang again! Left hook behind it, out cold, hammer.
Now you're probably wondering why I began this trading mistake with an MMA knockout. Well, Pereira made a mistake that exists in business, investing, crypto, and most of all, in trading. He was winning, and because he was winning, he decided to change the amount of risk he was exposing himself to, and...
Bang!
Mistake number 3, changing your level of risk based on your win rate. The more you trade, the more you win. The more you win, the more you're going to be tempted to get cocky and adjust your level of risk. But one big loss can undo a month's worth of wins in no time. It's just not worth cranking up the risk. Manage your risk always. In activities like trading, where gains can be undone in seconds, your focus should always be on risk, not on profits. If you focus on controlling losses and keeping your level of risk safe and consistent, no matter how much you win, then the profits will take care of themselves. It's that simple. And if you go and watch Pereira's fights after that brutal knockout, he's much more calm and patient. He stays safe, and this is what happens. Get your trading to do the same thing. F. Scott Fitzgerald, he once said the test of first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. Clearly he's met traders. Your average trader will tell you their plan is to make money while simultaneously acting in a way that takes on as much risk and fees as humanly possible. A strategy that is in direct opposition to the plan of making money. yet they do it anyways. They frequently show you these insane wins where they use, 90x leverage. They're patting themselves on the back as if they're Jordan Belfort.
Fun coupon. See that? A fun coupon.
But to an experienced trader, 90x leverage doesn't mean just amplifying gains. It also means amplifying losses and amplifying fees. So in simple terms, using 90x leverage doesn't mean 90x profits. It means a ton of fees and a ton of risk. This is mistake number 4. Thinking leverage will make you rich faster. Leverage doesn't make you rich faster. What makes you rich faster is surviving over the long term and collecting wins over time. By using your stop loss correctly, you can determine the amount of leverage you can safely use, minimizing fees, maximizing profitability, and most importantly, minimizing your exposure to risk. For example, let's say you're trying to risk 1% of your money and your goal is to double that in size within your next trade. How much leverage you should use depends on your stop loss. This is a different way of thinking of things. If your stop loss says that your risk in this trade is to lose 0.5%, then you can use 2x leverage because then you'd be risking that 1% that you've outlined is okay to risk. But if your stop loss says your risk is already 1%, then you wouldn't use 2x leverage because now you'd be risking 2% and that's way too much risk. That risk is just simply no longer safe. So leverage doesn't make you rich faster, surviving does. Let your stop loss determine your leverage. There are dozens of indicators in trading. Bollinger Bands, 500 EMA, Money Flow Index, RSI, you name it, there's probably an indicator for it. There's so many more. Each one is a useful tool for helping you determine when and where to trade. Each one is also likely part of a strategy that you might hear about online or your friend might tell you about. And each strategy promises insane gains if you just follow this flow. So you collect the indicators, you learn the strategy, you try it out, except there's a mistake here. This is mistake number 5, using new indicators without actually testing them. You wouldn't enter a gunfight without, checking your weapon was loaded, so why would you enter a trade without testing an indicator first? Just because it exists doesn't mean you should use it. If you don't test, you're just asking to lose money. Websites like TradingView, they let you back test indicators and rules so you aren't going in blind. You can see what works and what sucks without ever losing any money. Have you ever heard of a Merkle root? Not to be confused with a Merkin. A Merkle root might just save you all of your money. Yet traders don't even think about it. It's insane. A Merkle root is essentially a snapshot of all balances held by an exchange. So if an exchange that you're using has robust reserves, then it's not going to go under, which brings me to the next mistake. Number 6, trading on an exchange that doesn't reveal their reserves. If an exchange does not reveal their Merkle root, then it's safe to assume that something fishy is going on. Merkle roots simply prove that the exchange is not using your funds for something shady. It shows you in real data how much money they have. You want an exchange with 100% backing to be totally safe. There exists within the world of trading a concept that's so stupid I just cannot believe it exists. It's called revenge trading. Revenge trading is where traders try to take revenge on the market for losing them money. They do this by forcing a winning trade. So they keep funding a losing trade, they don't set a stop loss, and they burn money in the hope that things will get better. That's their revenge on the market. Just think about that for a second. Taking revenge on a market. It's just not going to work. Like losing a trade sucks, but trying to get revenge on some abstract digital representation of millions of people is number 1, insane, and number 2, just a good way to lose money. This is why it's mistake number 7. Don't double down on losing trades. If you've lost a trade, accept it and move on. Don't make the loss worse than it have to be. If you have proper risk management, you'll only lose a little bit on a trade anyway, so it's fine. Remember, if you focus on minimizing risk, the profits will take care of themselves. Impulse is a hell of a drug. You're on a diet, you see a great looking burger, you eat the burger. You're studying for an exam, then your friend sends you a TikTok, now you're just watching TikTok. If you're smart, you avoid these impulses. Like, it's pretty simple. These avoid the temptation and helps you stay on track. But in trading, it's a little bit trickier. Impulsive decisions have far more severe consequences. You're not just losing some productivity on TikTok or eating too many calories because of that burger. In trading, you're losing money. Sometimes a lot of money. Like, it could be all your money if you're doing this totally wrong. And if you're actively trading, you're looking at tempting trades all the time. So how do you avoid that temptation? You use rules. This brings me to mistake number 8, jumping into a trade without all of your rules being met. Your rules will be based on tested indicators. You know how often they make you money. You know how much risk they involve, so you follow them. You test them, and they keep you safe. It's that simple, and you do not, under any circumstances, jump into trades without all your rules being met. It's that simple. If you do jump into a trade, your impulsive decision is going to cost you a lot of money over the long run, which brings me to another mistake. The pandemic was a dark time. Remember how everyone just became a doctor all of a sudden? Countless people, they were arguing on social media about the science of vaccines, immunity, viruses, and just pretending they were experts? I don't know. Yeah, it was a wild time. But would you take their advice now, like the same people? Probably not. You'd probably want a doctor who has years of proven experience and expertise, a doctor who has some data-backed results, ideally a doctor who doesn't have some kind of agenda.
I need a doctor.
But this is the same thing with trading. Countless people will give you advice, especially if you ask. Who are you going to follow? The guy who talks about XYZ trades and just like whatever, or the guy who posts his trades in real time so you can copy them, you can audit his data, he shows you his rules, he shows you the results, the win rate. This is mistake number 9, allowing other traders to influence your trade decision without knowing the data-backed results of that advice. Always take advice from someone who has proven experience in their field, and then double check everything they say to be 100% safe. On this theme of taking advice, how often in the trading world do you hear about insane wins? You know, big 100x, slam dunks, Bugattis, bottles, cigars, generational wealth. They'll show you the evidence of the win. It's undeniable. So you start listening to those people and everything they have to say, and you start adjusting your risk accordingly to how they do things or how they did things one time when they got this massive win. This is mistake number 10, taking risk management advice from unprofitable traders. Profit picks aren't as important as win rate and overall profitability. Most of those big profit picks that you see are then followed by even bigger losses, or they came after loss after loss after loss because this person just took on way too much risk and then they got lucky. Is that who you want to take risk management advice from? People rarely reveal how much they lose or their actual win rates over time. They only reveal those big 1 or 2 gains after, 100 shots in the dark. But you have to know how much they lose over time if you want to take any of their long-term advice. Otherwise, you're just talking to someone who might have just got lucky one time. Trading is empowering. You learn how to make money from anywhere on earth. This is an activity that is never going to go away. The more people who trade, the more valuable your skills become. This is why a lot of people get excited when they rack up a few wins. They see trading as a path to freedom and financial success, so they go all in. This is mistake number 11, not having 6 to 12 months of liquid cash reserves before trading full time. Trading is about safety. First, get that in your head because trading is an inherently risky activity. You always want to practice safety outside of it first. This is why you want to make sure you have that emergency fund and ideally some ultra safe investments outside of trading. Aim for a 6 to 12 month emergency fund. Stay safe out there, and if you're ready for the next step, check out this video where we show you step by step a strategy on how to earn $99,000 per year from trading with free tools.